Welcome back yet again. And guess what? We are backstage at Jubilee Theatre, the one and only, coming to you live from the set of From Test to Testimony that is on stage now, closing in the next 2 weeks. So please get your tickets now. I am D1 Boy Richardson, Executive Artistic Director here at the one and only Jubilee Theatre. And I have the blessing, the honor. It's all of us today, Lord, all of us. So we're going to do a quick round of introductions, and then we're going to talk about what we're going to be talking about today. As always, I'm joined with the one and only.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kenya, your box office coordinator. I put extraordinaire and coordinator together. So, box office coordinator. That is I, and I'm here backstage, and we're going to go over to my left and introduce yourself.
Hey y'all, I'm Nyla. I'm the junior associate producer, and I do whatever Wham says.
Help me, Lord Jesus.
I am the marketing coordinator, and I do whatever all of them say.
Help me, Lord.
Ooh, that's a good one. I'm Donna. I am the operations coordinator here, and I carry out whatever Wham says. It's the truth.
Help us.
Yeah.
It's true.
We all doing this thing together.
Right.
We'll
Right.
say that again.
Right.
We're doing this thing together. Now, beautiful people, guess what? This is the official kickoff of North Texas Giving Day. And what better way for us to talk about North Texas Giving Day than you meeting all of us? Because it's all of us that make what we do here at Jubilee Theatre so possible. And even though we are a small team, Lord God, small team, but we are mighty. Like a little engine that could. We just keep on going and keep on going and keep on going. So what's going to happen today is we're going to be passing the peas like we used to be. All right? Pass the peas like they used to do. Don't make me do it. Don't make me do it. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be passing around some questions to introduce us, talk about Jubilee Theatre, talk about why we support Jubilee Theatre, what are the missions, dreams, and all that other good stuff about Jubilee Theatre. But as usual, before we get started, let's talk about the house announcements for the day. Number one, please check your calendars for April 21st. Why? What's happening April 21st? Tickets go on sale for the Jubilee Theatre birthday celebration. Come on, Lord. Come on, Lord. Now, even though our birthday is officially June 19th, we will be having a birthday celebration at I Am Terrell on June 21st, Sunday, June 21st. So mark your calendars. We have over 600 tickets that are for free. However, we're also asking for birthday donations. So in honor of our 46th birthday, please consider a birthday token of $4.60, $46, or if the Lord has made it possible, $460. But most importantly, let's come out and celebrate what 46 years of theatrical excellence looks like. We're going to be doing a concert celebrating the life and music of Ethel Waters. So it's going to be gospel, jazz, and blues all in one night, tied together with some great music, with some great people, and some great food. So come on out to I Am Terrell, and let's have a really good time. Next, beautiful people, this Thursday, April 23rd, KGGR is going to be in the house. Come on, KGGR. So, please, this is the show you want to do it on. So come on out. Let's have a great time with KGGR while we celebrate the final week from Test to Testimony. People have been having a good time on this show.
Yes.
Shouting, clapping, and praising and asking questions and being comfortable with asking complicated questions. And then immediately after this show closes on the 27th, the very next day, we're going to go directly into rehearsals for Sassy Mamas. Come on, a beautiful show about, older women still telling you, I still got the fire in me. So please go online. Go online and give Miss Kenya a call because we've already sold the first 120 tickets for Sassy Mamas. So that show, and we have several groups that are calling. We got some ladies' nights, some date nights that are coming up. So people are excited about Sassy Mamas, so get your ticket now. Other than that, beautiful people, what we're about to do is we're going to pass the peas like they used to be. And I'm going to turn this thing over to the one and only Miss Dawn. Pass the peas like they used to do. Pass the peas like they used to do. Go ahead, Miss Dawn. Take it away now.
Well, Wham, I'm going to throw it right back in your face with our first question. As our executive artistic director, what does theater allow us to say that other platforms don't?
Ooh. Theater allows us to say everything and from every perspective. But most importantly, what theater does is it allows us to create a safe space for uncomfortable conversations. Creates a common space for us to laugh and cry and love and enjoy with one another, to see the common humanity that we all share as human beings. But it also, most importantly, for those uncomfortable moments, it creates a place where we can engage in the conversation and it'd be okay to agree to disagree.
Yes.
But most importantly, walk away from the table, walk away from the show, having experienced maybe a different perspective, and know that that different perspective isn't right or wrong. It's just not yours. And it's okay that it's not yours.
Yeah.
I like that, because what people don't realize about theater is the actors on stage have the energy that they convey is not the same as what you would find in a film.
Yeah.
Because somebody would obviously say, oh, I can get that in the movie theater. It's not.
No.
It's not the
Because that actor is going places.
right.
And that show is never going to be the show you saw that Friday night. It's not, come on.
It's not gonna be the same Sunday.
Different audience, different energy, different group.
Wow.
Every night is a completely, you're watching something that is ephemeral. It is there for a moment and it's going to be gone forever. So that's the joy of watching live theater.
Yes.
That's good.
I try.
Yeah. Yeah. Your turn, Wham.
Miss Nyla,
I'm all ears.
as my new junior producer, and doing a phenomenal job, Lord Jesus. Thank you, Lord. From the producing standpoint, when you're building a show, when do you know that a story needs to be told right here, right now?
That's a good question. I feel like already Jubilee has set a standard for what type of stories are to be told, because we're making stories for people like us with our skin tone. So I say it's already there. I think it's like I visualize it like the people walking out of the theater and like seeing them excited. I don't know. I can when I read a script, I'm like, I can see them walking out and laughing or singing, or that's how I view it. And I can picture which director is going to take this story and elevate it. So,
Love that.
Okay.
You picture like the bigger picture.
yeah, I'm just visualizing in my head, and I'm like, I can see them liking this because I like it.
Love it. And also thinking about what's happening in the world at that time. You know, how are we creating conversations to reflect what the world is, what the world was? You know, are we creating something from a place of nostalgia? Are we creating something because of something that recently happened in the community? You know, that's where we have to, you know, and it's dangerous because sometimes if you do something that's too topical, you know, it can turn the audience off. And if you do something, split second. We did Split Second on my second year here. And even though it was a really great show, it was a show that's about, you know, a policeman shooting someone. It was just in the reverse, where it was a black cop shooting a white civilian. But because of what was happening in the world at that time, it was a hard show for the audience to take. But it was also a necessary show for us to do. So finding the balance between those types of shows is always important. And thank you, because you be reading them scripts, baby.
I like it. I do.
You reading the scripts I haven't had time to read, and you just drop them off on my desk and be like, can you look at this one? And I take that serious, and that's for all of you. You know, please keep sending me those scripts for me to, you know, try to figure out this next season.
And you read them quick, too.
She does.
Because that's
She
a lot of
does.
scripts.
But I like what I do. I think that's what makes it easy. You know?
All right.
All right.
Your turn.
Oh yeah, Miss Kyra. Miss Kyra. So how can you? What do you do to translate this play or musical in the marketing sense? Like, what do you do?
So I feel like it depends on the show. Like, it's a toss up because like I try to break it down. Like, there are certain shows that we've done, it's very like Test of Testimony. It's the theme of God, theme of gospel. Those are two things that a lot of Black people relate to off rip because a lot of us were raised in the church. So that's somewhat easy. But then there are other shows that is kind of the same theme, like The Fall of Heaven that we did last year. Still has a godly theme, or like,
But not a musical.
But not a musical. And so like I try to pull kind of some of those keywords: gospel, musical, God, like love, like some of those universal themes that are easy to be like, oh, okay, I identify with that. So I think pulling stuff that people relate to, and then from there coming up with something not necessarily new, but making it ours. Like for Sassy Mamas, for example, like we had talked about, you think about all your Black classic love stories, Love Jones, How Stella Got Her Groove Back, Waiting to Excel, like taking those themes, taking those themes of like, oh, like this, we're gonna frame it, oh, this is your Black classic, this is your new Black classic film, but theater, So I think just taking like I can't remember what they're called exactly, but like your universsul...
Common interests.
Yeah, basically like your universal themes, common interests, and building off of that. And then sometimes just taking the risk of doing something completely new and just seeing where it lands. Because I'm learning that there's really no right or wrong to do it. So it's just right or wrong way to do it. So it's just, what's the best way to tell this story? Now build off of it. And so...
With that, can you also talk about, from a marketing perspective, how we market so that our audience knows, yes, this is, quote, a Black theater, and we're telling Black stories, but the stories that we tell are for all of Texas, all of our community. And I never want anyone to walk in thinking, oh, that's the Black theater, that's for the Black people. So how do we market that? You were talking about the universals. How do we, convey that Jubilee is an audience for all?
For all. I think, I'm not going to lie, it is hard because at the end of the day, we are a Black theater. And I feel like that's what people are going to see first. But like I said, I think taking some of those themes like, oh, everybody can relate. Everybody loves music. Everybody can relate to love. Everybody's been in love or wants to be or was, whatever. So it's like I said, just taking those things and like shaping it like, oh, we've all been there. We've all, no matter what skin tone you are, no matter who, even in Test of Testimony, there's heavier themes, but at some point, we've all dealt with at least one of those things in there. And like, even with this show, if you can read the Bible and relate to it as a Black person, a brown person, a white person, then you can relate to this show. Yeah. Because when you're reading the Bible, you're not thinking, oh, I'm this color, I can't relate. Like you know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's the same thing, especially for this current show. Like you can relate to the things that are happening. We've all been the prodigal son at some point. We've all lost someone. We're all grieving something. So just making it relatable to like, this is not just a Black thing. This is not a Black struggle. This is a humanity. Yeah. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Miss Kenya? My question for you, you are pretty much the first point of contact for people. What do you see or hear from our audiences that reminds you why this work is important?
What I usually get mostly is I haven't been here in a minute.
That's a good one.
I'm glad I came back. Or this is my first time here. And I will be coming back. Or a call that says, a group of my friends, they live in Oklahoma.
Right.
So, hey, we want to come down. Do you guys have anything going on? We were just visiting the area. And we're just looking for something to do. And when they come and then they call back, I just had a call back yesterday. that said, Miss Kenya, thank you. And this was somebody that was much older than me, and she called me Miss Kenya.
They do.
She was like, I want to just say, I just had to call you and say thank you because we wanted something to do and you made it possible for us to come and see an amazing show. And I have told everybody about it. And they're getting their tickets. So those type of things that I haven't been here in a minute. This is my first time. And I'll be back. That shows me right there that we're doing something that matters. Even for those shows, and yes, there are those shows that we may feel that they're, I don't have a better word, but flop. Or not as
Well
good.
attended.
Yes. Even those shows, they say, well, yeah, it's different. It was different from what Jubilee usually does, but I did enjoy it, So, but then that gives me the word to go back and say, hey, they liked it, but,
They used to XYZ.
They used to doing this, but I get those type of words. So that's what that shows right there that what we're doing matters to the community, not just us,
Right.
to everybody. Because yes, the amount of others that come out or that call and say, hey, you guys are doing an amazing job. So I'm going to tell my coworkers and I'm going to do this and that. So yeah.
There was a patron. I think he came for Hype Man, and he said he hadn't been here in a while. He took the train here. He was like, I can't remember the amount of years he said that he hadn't been here. But it was a good amount of years. And he was like, Jubilee does it again. So I'm like, dang, like after all of those years, it's still that resolve. And I'm like, that's really cool to come back someplace that has changed over decades and generations, and you're still like, and that y'all did it again.
I can pull up someone's name, and a lot of our names don't come up in the system, but I can pull up someone's name, and the last show that they saw here was Top Dog Underdog.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't even know when that was.
That was 2016.
Really?
Yeah. Because that was 2 years before me.
Or Once Upon an Island.
Once Upon an Island.
Those
Once
type
on
of
this island.
Once
Yep.
on this island, their name will come up under that. And I was like, do you know this was like 20 years ago?
Yeah.
But they're coming back, and then they're glad that they've come back.
Yeah.
So that's a long time span in between. But to come back and say, whoa. But anyway, we're going to move on. And now my question goes to Donna. Yes. So what is something behind the scenes that keeps everything moving, and why is that work just as important as the mission?
I like to give the staff their props, the five of us, because truly you can compare everything to a production. When people walk into Jubilee, they see the actors, yes. Right off the bat, they see the actor, they see the director. And unless we're here on opening night, they don't get to see us and the work that we put in. So even if it's like my work is not as glamorous as Kyra's work or not as hands-on as Nyla's work, but it's I get to work with papers and keep Wham on track for the most part and all that. But it's that time as soon as the show is up, now we're all five of us are on game time. And I think that work is important because without the five of us, nothing would happen. Can you imagine if it was just Nyla and Wham? Then the bills won't get paid because gotta let Wham know this is the bill that's up, or the amount of phone calls that will not get answered because they're back here building something, or the social media would just stop. And we might have one post in March and the next one come in June. So I think
Only sold 2 tickets.
all of us just make up pieces to the puzzle that the puzzle wouldn't look right if one of us was missing. That's why we can't take PTO. We got to coordinate, guys. We all got to be off at a certain time.
That part.
At the same time.
Yeah.
So
At the same time. So I think the work that we put in is so important. And I think it is just as important because it would give the folks a reason to give.
Come on.
You know what I mean? And so with that being said, we talked about why theater matters. And, this podcast is special because it's the kickoff to North Texas Gives, period. So today we start North Texas Give to the arts. And then as soon as this is over, we're going to start campaigning for North Texas Giving Day and everything in between. So my next question is for Nyla. When people donate to Jubilee, what are they actually supporting that they might not realize?
I feel like they're supporting a lot of things. For instance, I'm going to go back to last Sunday, Test the Testimony. That was an amazing show. You're supporting the actors. You're helping them get paid. You're giving us, like, when you give to us, we give you that feeling y'all felt when y'all were walking out. There were so many people shaking the actors' hands. They were like, some people they didn't know what to do. Like, they were like, I want to go to the next show. When you give to us, you give yourself entertainment, and you give yourself, you get to experience. You get to experience Jubilee. I feel like it's more than just money. It's just like your family now, You got to support your family, That's how I feel. So, Kyra, I'm going to swing that over to your way. How can you ask our patrons how can you market to donate to us without feeling transactional?
I feel like that's fairly easy to do because I think it's already not transactional in the first place. Like you said, we're giving an experience, and also this experience is only up from here. It's not ever gonna go down in quality or anything like that. Like if you think of the things we've done for each show, like just the different receptions and things like that, and the merch that we've given out so far, the gift baskets. I mean, and even aside from that stuff, it's just the quality of the show. Like I think if it was transactional right now already outside of giving, then I feel like that would easily show, and we would only sell the 2 tickets. Like if it was just transactional. But I think people are buying tickets because of the experience they get coming through the door. Whether we have a reception that night or we don't, whether we have KGGR night or we do something else, or Casa is in the lobby, or we do the vendors for whatever show. I think it's like you said, it's more than just like, oh, I'm coming here to see a show. It's like you never really know what you're gonna get. True. Like there are nights, there are nights where we do popcorn. There are nights where we've done charcuterie. We did for the Fall of Heaven. I think for like the last, I don't know how many shows, 3 or 4.
We tried to incorporate something.
We did like cheese every night.
Popcorn.
Popcorn and punch. Popcorn and punch was fun.
Right.
That was fun.
Popcorn and punch, yeah.
Don't
Popcorn
forget,
and
didn't
punch
we do
is fun.
cotton candy at one point too?
Yes, cotton candy and
Cotton
champagne.
Exactly. And not even aside from the food, it's like food brings people together already.
Yes.
So being able to see, from my perspective of like doing, taking the pictures or video for marketing, when we have those things, it's like they are mingling, they're getting to know each other. People are in the lobby, they could be networking. I mean, like it encourages that type of socialness, if that makes sense.
My dad, when he went to the Donny Hathaway show, he walked away with a little friend. He made a friend in the show.
Not a friend.
He made a friend. They was just talking the whole time. I was like, it's just, when you give to Jubilee, you keep elevating that experience every time.
When we opened Hype Man, it was a group of women that came. We did a little dress code, and they were honestly the only ones that showed up and showed out in their 90s hip hop. And we had the photo booth, and I always say Kenya, what she does with the lobby is so cool. Adds to the experience. You're able to decorate the lobby and really, so that they're not just seeing the show here, they're getting a little taste when they walk in the door,
Yes.
I think that's cool.
It's only up from here. I mean, the ideas that we all have and that we want to do this year alone is like, I feel like that's gonna just keep bringing new people, or keep bringing people that are like, oh, I'm just here for the day, or I'm not from here, but I wanted to come. So just off of seeing social media or seeing whatever that they've seen, even from our Google reviews. I mean, I just answered a lot of them. So, but a lot of people are like,
I've been telling people, leave a Google
leave
review.
a Google review.
Leave a Google review.
But a lot of people, they leave pictures and like, I'm like, dang, thank you guys for the photos and, just coming here with such an open mind and being like you also have to want to experience it. You can't come in like, I'm just here. Yeah, you kind of have to want it, like want to see the show for what it is and so much more. So,
Hey.
and my question, is it me? Is it
Yes,
me?
that's you.
It's
That's
me.
It's you.
Miss Kenya.
Yeah.
What is something you've noticed from the box office that may surprise the rest of us staff?
Nothing really surprises me.
Exactly.
But surprise
For
rest
the
of
thing,
us.
but something that I cannot say that did, we're not going to talk about that situation. But as it relates to the patrons, let's see, what surprises me? Really, that's a hard one.
Well, not necessarily surprises you, but what is something that you see that I might not pay attention
That
to?
you
Or
may not
Have an
Kyra,
experience up there that we don't.
every
have.
time you come in the chat and you get, I just got off the phone with this,
Oh,
and that. And
yes.
We're like, oh, really?
I get the customer service is not for the weak.
It's not.
It's not.
It
And I
is
thank
not
you.
for the weak.
I thank you. Because if I had to answer them
have to
phones.
be able to become who that other person really wants you to be. And that is the surprise. So we get all of the calls and we get the ones that have been coming here since they were knee-high to a grasshopper and since the doors first opened here at Jubilee Theatre. And they know the changes and everything, so they want something specific. I think me knowing my patrons now, I'm getting to know the ones that come often, getting to know what their issue is and what they want, what they desire, what they want to see. And that's just the biggest thing. And I know that you guys don't get a chance to talk to a lot of them and don't get a chance to see any of them, but I do. And to see them come in and you, Miss Kenya. Oh, you
And
you
they're
know,
coming asking for.
Yeah,
Miss
they
Kenya.
miss you when you're
She
not
told
here.
me.
Miss
I said,
Kenya
she
told
not
me
even
on
here
the
today,
phone.
not
baby.
even here. So yeah, I get the calls like, "Oh, Miss Kenya, this you?" First of all, is this you? I'm the only one that's gonna answer the phone.
And I can
So-
say, working with you in box office, I have that personal touch with the patrons has helped me be a better producer in my
Yes.
in my opinion. So I do like having those moments with them.
Yes, that it's just being with the patron. That's what the thing
I
is.
commend the
That's-
way you know them by name. And we got a lot. This is 146 house.
Yes,
I really do.
yes.
Every
It's
time.
not the same 146, but it's
different
just the thing
146.
of who I call. So now we're gonna keep
I
this.
actually have one more question.
Go ahead.
Ooh,
Go
it's
ahead.
okay.
What is one thing that you think the patrons understand about Jubilee that we may not understand especially when it comes time to give? Like we get in autopilot. I know because I do, and I know Wham does. So like I know we all get in autopilot, and sometimes the patrons are like they come in with awe and wonder that we just be like, oh, snap a picture. We may not get we may not get it, but the patrons, they like, what do you think that is?
They are coming for an experience. Everything is an experience, and now that it's us now. We're doing the lobby. The lobby is not saying anything was wrong with it before, but because of that experience out there, because of everything that we're doing to give them an experience as far as the cheese and wine or different things like that, they're coming for that experience, and they're coming for family. They're coming for connection, and so that is another reason why I try to learn everybody's name and try to remember everybody. So when they do come, they're like, I'm going to Jubilee, but I'm going to see family. And then Wham giving the speech of saying that we're family. So that's what they're coming for. So when they do see you guys on those opening nights, they're coming saying, hey, I'm coming to see family. So that's what they're expecting, is that family orientation of us here at Jubilee Theater. And we want to continue to give them that experience. So we need the help to do that.
Yes.
And so now my question goes over to the man with a plan. Now, what is something Jubilee has been able to do because of a donor support that you are especially proud of?
That's a couple of them, and I feel tremendously blessed that Jubilee Theater has the donor base that we do. Not only from the individual donors who give what they can. I have $500, I have $1,000. I have $250, and I just wanted to bless Jubilee Theater. If you get enough pennies together, you can make $1. You get enough dollars together, you can buy a mansion. So we feel really blessed from that perspective. But we also have very specific donors that have made key programming things possible for Jubilee Theater. So example being the R4 Foundation. Rights and royalties are expensive.
Yeah.
Dear God, rights and royalties are expensive. So when people say to me, hey, we really want Jubilee Theater to do Little Shop of Horrors or Dream Girls or, something that just came off of Broadway, well, guess what? That show is going to cost, if I do it here at Jubilee Theater, it's going to cost me somewhere between $17,000 to $18,000 just in rights and royalties. And that's if I don't take the show out to Bass Hall or Scott Theater or a larger venue. The larger the venue, the more expensive that show is going to cost. So when we did the Color Purple cost me almost $27,000 just in rights and royalties, just to buy the rights to do the show.
That's not set. That's not lighting. That's not design. That's not.
That's just to get the script.
That's just to get the script.
You see what I'm saying?
One of our current ones is costing $13K.
Yes, and that's
That's the music.
Kluk and Vanette. It's not cheap. So that donor, having that type of donor who says, you know what, we're going to give this to Jubilee Theater just to help underwrite the cost of rights and royalties, makes it so that it reduces the back end of what producing that show is going to be, and it takes some of the stress and tension off of that type of show, and it makes it quite honestly possible for me to be able to look at certain shows. Because if not, I'd do a whole season of New Works if I had to, because I know that if I do a season of New Works, it's not going to cost me the same. But I also know from an audience perspective, name recognition matters. It's easier when you say Dreamgirls, people know what that is. When you say The Color Purple, people know what that is. Certain titles, people are going to just pick up the phone. Sister Act is going to sell itself. So, but not everybody can afford, not every theater can afford to do a season of blockbusters.
Yeah.
A season of blockbusters will cost Jubilee Theater somewhere between $85,000 and $125,000, depending upon where we were producing those shows. That's one. The other one is Arts Fort Worth. They make it possible for us to market to theaters, to patrons outside of a 50-mile radius of Jubilee Theater.
Okay.
So our that community from Oklahoma that catches the train and they come in,
Yes.
Arts Fort Worth makes it possible for us to market to them. For us to get outside of that 50-mile radius and to do the marketing, to do the radio, to do the print ads and things like that, to get into magazines that don't just service Tarrant County. Right. Arts Fort Worth makes it possible for us to do that. So that's that's money that goes into the budget specifically earmarked for that purpose to grow the House of Jubilee Theater. Okay. And then you have someone like the Ann L. Rose Trust or Bank of America Foundation. They make it possible because they give us localized money for general operations. And with general operations, it takes the pressure off of ticket sales to keep the doors of the house open. Because if I had to just knock on wood, this year we've been paying bills off of ticket sales. That's the first in Jubilee's history. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Father. We've been keeping the doors open off of ticket sales. But 51% of our budget is the people sitting at this table. You know what I'm saying? 51% of the budget is not the artistic, it's the day-to-day running of the organization. And so having our organization to come in and say we're going to give Jubilee Theater general operating funds makes it possible for us to say, okay, I'm going to allocate this amount here, this amount here, this amount here. It alleviates the stress on a nonprofit to still focus on the general mission, or the mission of the organization, when that pressure is taken off of it. So those alone, and there are many, Ann L. Rose, Sid Richardson, Amon G. Carter, all of these foundations make it possible for Jubilee Theater. But honestly, it's also the individual donor. The individual, like when we do North Texas Giving Deal or North Texas Gives to the Arts, last year we made somewhere between
We made $11,000.
$11,000. That was $11,000 that helps to support education, that helps to support you all, that helps to support the next show. So the dollars that we collect, please know that they are spent well and they are used well. And when you come to see a show at Jubilee Theater, you can clearly see where your dollars are going.
Yes.
So, that being said, Miss Donna, as we're talking about spending on operations and things, from an operations side, what does donations actually help sustain in the day-to-day running of Jubilee Theater?
And Wham, you did so good. Just talking about, obviously, when it comes to us sitting at this table, that's where the money goes, and production-wise as well. But I can give a specific example. Really, I want to say donations allow us to market, to do photo shoots, to hopefully, Lord, give the marketing department a Mac so that so that the editing and all that is the most as efficient as possible. Because I was told that apparently Apple is great for that. So it's being tech. But other than keeping the lights on, our printer as well, all the paper, this beautiful colored printer, I went ham on it. I'm not gonna lie, but just being able to just work is important. And when the people donate, especially around this time of year, they like to see it as well. And granted, we do give them their flowers, but what we also like to show them that we are a product of their dollar. And so I hope that when they do give, they give with pride, knowing that is going to a good cause, to a good experience, And with that, I want to get a little bit candid with it, and I want to ask Kenya.
Uh-oh.
I want to go back to Kenya and ask, when I talk about the product of their dollar, can you share a moment in the box office that reminded you this work is bigger than tickets? Because I always say, from a business standpoint, because I talk about this in my other job, numbers matter. Yes, amen. We love our numbers. But also, when you take away the numbers, you have the moments in between. So is there anything specific that you can think of that made you say, I'm in the right spot, this is bigger than the numbers, and so on and so forth?
Oh my goodness. Just one spot, one place to say that this is bigger than the tickets. As you all know, I love what I do. I love being at that box office. I love talking to everybody, no matter the good, the weird. Even the ones that I guess this would be a moment. We have a patron, and I'm not going to mention their name, but they're going through the beginnings of dementia. But they love coming to Jubilee. And they know that they come to Jubilee often. They buy the Flex Pass, get your Flex Pass. And they bring a friend.
Yeah.
And that person has called me several times. not knowing that they already purchased the Flex Pass, that they've already set aside all of the tickets. But having the conversation with them and just talking with them and calmly, because anybody else that would get a call constantly from a person saying, I need to get my tickets. They probably would be upset, like, you just called me yesterday or you just called me last week.
I'm so serious. My patience is not there.
But because I know what the situation is, I know how to flip it and understand that I get it. I get that you it's okay. And brought them to tears at one point because they know that they're struggling with this, but that's something that sticks with me because of how I care about my patrons as well. And that to me, no, I'm not a therapist. I just love what I do.
Come on.
And that right there is more than them just purchasing that Flex Pass, but that doesn't mean you can't. That means a lot to me that in that moment of her life, that she's still saying Jubilee is a big thing.
Yeah.
And I need to keep doing this as long as I can.
Yeah.
Come on.
And that's more than just that, of her just having that memory of Jubilee Theatre.
Muscle memory.
That's more than just a ticket purchase. That muscle memory, like you said, of this and I'm holding that for her dear to my heart. That we have her for an extended amount of time, and at least make it to the birthday celebration and to the Christmas show. Get your tickets. Scrooge was a brother, yes. So yeah, that's just the one thing right there that sticks out to me more.
I love that.
Than the tickets. My question now, we back. I'm going to you now. Hey. Was there ever a campaign, Kyra, that or show that really moved you personally?
Yeah. Before I answer though, just going back to your story, I'm like just thinking about that condition and the fact that not only is it muscle memory, but we're attached to a good memory.
Yes.
So that's important too.
Yes.
Like it's not, especially with that type of condition or diagnosis, it's like important to know like you have those good memories and certain attachments to them. So to know that we're attached to something good for her, that does mean a lot.
That we're a safe place.
Yeah.
We're home for her.
Yeah.
Right.
Or him or her.
Right, right. But to answer your question, I actually have two. My first one is last year when we did the stage reading for I'll Be Damned If this year, but we did a initial like stage reading last year.
Yes.
It's probably February.
Yeah, first draft.
It was, and it was my first, that was like my second month working here in 2025. And I would like to see Miss Carlene sitting at the like
was a cool
seat,
moment.
and she was like taking notes, and she was smiling, laughing. I'm like, man. And Nyla, you were there. I'm like, dang, that was, I think when that was a moment of like childlike wonder for the arts for me, of like also just seeing a living legend walk through here. I'm like, that is so cool. And then to see how her story was unfolding on a bigger platform, I'm like, that was...
Her daughter and granddaughter
her
were there too,
yes.
so they're watching it
it was
too.
a whole family affair. So I'm
They're
really,
part of the story.
right.
They sure is.
I'm really excited for I'll Be Damned If. Get your tickets. I'm really excited.
Yeah, do it.
I'm so excited for that show. And then the other one is actually North Texas Giving Day last year, when me and Wham woke up at, what time did we get to?
It was 4.
It was like 4
in the
a.m.
morning.
We got to the site, the whatever.
FAA site.
Yeah. And we, child. It was 4 a.m. and they were out there playing music and everything. And we went there and we were able to be a part of this stuff. And then later on, as the day went on, it was like coming toward the end of the day. And I was like, well, let me do like a little countdown on social media, like last few hours. And I would just keep posting I think at that point, I don't know if we had a solidified goal as a team, but we were just like, let's just see what we can do this year, whatever. So I was like kind of posting my own goals on social media and on our story, and people were like swiping up and responding, and like I was getting, I mean, it was back to back emails of like, this person gave.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, y'all, 1 more hour. And then it was like flooded emails. This person gave, this person.
We jumped from 7 to 11.
To like 11
So fast.
Within 2 hours.
2 hours.
Yeah.
Like,
Wow.
You got to watch it.
Yes. And seeing like, I was just like, okay. Because at that point, I really didn't know what to do. I was like, let me just kind of post a fake goal, you know, just to see where we can get and say like, oh, we're at 8,000, can we get to 9? And then to see the flood of emails from North Texas and saying this person donated. And in that last 2 hours, I was like, man, that was cool. Because it's not like you give up necessarily, but you kind of just like, well, let's just see what we do.
Right.
So to see like people really essentially pulled up for us is really like, that's really cool.
And it was like $50, $75,
Right.
$125,
Right.
$200,
Right.
$300. And just, going back to, the little amounts.
They
Number one, there is no
Because
little
we jumped
amount.
from 7
There is no
to
small
11.
amount.
Yeah.
So we
Every
jumped
amount
up
counts.
$4,000, like $4,000 or $5,000 in a few hours. Like
That's a lot.
that's I didn't
lot.
know what it was gonna do, but it was just like you gotta. I think we put ourselves out there, just even as a collective. Like we really put ourselves out there, like being at Jubilee, and we always see the fruit of that. I don't think there's really been a time that I've been working here that we've been like, oh, let's try it. That it hasn't necessarily worked out.
Right.
Like it may have done something else, but it always works for our good.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I love that.
My question is I done got all in. I was like, I don't know what I'm about to do. Okay, Nyla. My question for you, have you worked on a show that changed how you see the world? That's a big question.
That is.
You wrote this, Donna.
I said we're going to get candid.
Working here for a year, but I can say, I like the topics of Fall of Heaven, especially like hearing where Walter Mosley was coming from. It's just difficult to be a human being, and I feel like it's the same themes in Tested Testimony. It's kind of hard to be a believer when you're a human. You've got all these situations, so you just have to put your faith in it, and you just gotta just sit with the feeling of being human. So I mean, every show is different. I'm able to relate to it no matter what. But I'm just hoping I get to experience more shows where it can impact me that way. So I'm still growing and learning, but I can take little pieces and take it with me. But I'm gonna swing it to Wambui and ask him.
Before you go, that was good. and those shows, I just was like, it's hard being a human being, is what she said. It's like, yeah.
Because that's the beauty of these productions that are like Tested Testimony, especially Tested Testimony, because it puts us in a room where we pray to God that we're never gonna see. We're in an asylum. We're sitting in an asylum right now.
In an asylum.
You know what I mean? Like we're in the so the way Wham wrote it, he gave us a glimpse into lives that we don't think about ever experiencing. And so when Nyla's like, it's difficult to being a human being, is that we have a great walk of life, as far as I'm concerned, but we have examples of others that have probably fallen, especially in the Fall of Heaven, since it was good versus evil. And one was an angel, but if you just take that angel away for a second and just put him as a man, which is what the topic was about, and then you had Tempest, who was a man or is a man, it's the same thing. Because then they're on two different walks of life. So that's the beauty of what we do. You know what I mean? Oops. That we cross, their paths cross. Yes, as ma'am said.
Even with Sassy Mamas, like,
That
there
too.
could be people that are, I hate to use the word, but feeling embarrassed about being in a certain season or grieving a certain season of life. Like as we get older, and we're like, well, things are not
That's
the same
over.
for me.
Yeah.
Things are not the same. And so do I kind of put myself out there and risk looking a certain way. And for context, Sassy Mamas is 3 older women going for younger men. And so, like, just risking the judgment, risking how will I look and how will...
And it's not just a judgment from people, it's a judgment from yourself,
Yeah.
exactly.
as well. Because women of a certain age, yes, y'all gonna get there. Your mind, your body, your everything, all of yourself goes through changes, and so all of those changes, and then you're like, well, let me step back out, but this is what's interesting to me now. And it's this person and bringing that person into all of this change. And then what happens?
Right.
Because now you have that person and they're younger. They haven't experienced life and you have experience. So what does that look like coming together? So get your ticket.
And I know we got to get to Nyla, but I'm so excited for Sassy Mamas because I'm bringing in a couples/sex therapist, right? That we sometimes host post-show talk backs where we get to talk about and the nitty and gritty of it all. But there was something in my meeting with her that stuck with me as I told her the 3 different personalities of women, and she wrote them down and she dissected all, and she's already anticipating what the patrons are going to get from that. They said you might have a patron who's probably in her 50s that's experiencing what the shy one might do. And so I'm excited to continue bringing the humanity to all of it, you know?
Yeah.
So sorry, Nyla. Sorry.
Okay, Nyla, go ahead.
This is a good segue to Wambui. So what's a moment in your career where theater sparked a difficult but necessary conversation?
Can I know how long you've been doing this?
I was wondering that the other day.
How dare. I have officially been doing theater for 30 years. Look at God.
Black don't crack.
Thank you for
No, it do not. Oh, it does.
30
It's
years
crazy.
of theater.
Look blessed.
I don't know what I'm, even though I've had other jobs while being a theater artist, I've been a theater artist. I've been doing theater for 30 consecutive years. It has saved my life. It has made me who I am, and I cannot imagine a world where I was anything other than what I am right now, which is an artist.
Okay.
For you, Miss Nyla, there are 2 moments that pop in my head for different reasons. The first one is the movement. That was the
was
a cappella
so
musical we did last
back.
year. It touched me. It touched
Bring
us.
it back.
I said a musical with no band. We going straight a cappella. Let's do this.
And they did that.
One of the things that was important to me for that particular show are the conversations, as a Gen X. And having been raised not by my mother, but by my grandmother, who was, 2 generations removed, she grew up at a time where segregation and the marches and all that other stuff was happening in the world. And for me to have grown up in the hybrid of those generations, I understood what protests looked like then. And we were just kind of coming out of Black Lives Movement and what protests were looking like then. And that juxtaposition between, my mom would tell me that before she she walked out the door for a march, she put on the 3-piece suit. When you looked at Dr. Martin Luther King
so
and everybody
true.
else,
They were dressed
no,
up.
they were dressed
They
in
were
the Sunday best.
In the best.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Versus when you see a protest.
Women in heels.
That's
They had them
true.
heels.
Come on.
too.
Wasn't no slippers, wasn't
No,
no bonnets.
slippers, bonnets, pajamas.
We coming to protest.
Hair was they was out the
Come on.
house.
Well,
Whole other
Hey,
conversation.
break.
and to see and that's not to say that how we protest now is wrong or different. It's different.
Right.
Yeah.
And sometimes the energy is different. And I think sometimes the demand is slightly different. So for me, the movement was a point of reflection. Because I think every generation thinks that they're the ones that created it. And so we were...
I founded this.
You know what I'm saying?
You weren't even
We were the
born.
first ones to create protest, dang it. And so I think what the movement was a good moment of reflection for a new generation to look back in a way that does not preach at the audience and say, this is how it's supposed to be done. This is how we did it. Or you should appreciate what we've done for you. That's not what the movement was or what it did. It just was, that's what these kids did at that time in the world. And that was their approach to it. And I'm hoping what that show did was it created a platform for conversations for change. We all want change until it's time to actually do it.
Can you say that?
We all want change until it's time to do it. Now, what the movement does is allow us to ask ourselves, okay, if we want change, what are we willing to do for it now? And who do I need to be when I come to the table to ask for change? Because sometimes it's not about the question, it's about the person who delivered the question. And so for me, that's what the movement was. I felt blessed that the playwright was here, that the audiences received the show and the spirit in which it was given. But it also helped us to grapple with those types of conversations. And it's without saying, because during Black Lives Matter, Jubilee Theatre, we were quiet. Like, look, I have things to do. We are producing theater right now. We're creating a platform for conversations to be had. And everybody was like, well, what is Jubilee's stance on? I said, my stance is we're creating a play, buy a ticket. We weren't out in the street, drawing lines and, slapping, those 3 letters on everything. I didn't feel like Jubilee, as a Black organization, that was not a conversation that I felt at the time Jubilee Theatre needed to be fully invested in. You know what I'm saying? My job is to make sure that everybody at the table is still working and still fed and that the doors of the church house are still open, and to create a space where everybody feels welcome so that we can engage in the deeper conversations. So that was one. And then most recently, the show that has, gotten me sparked and really has rejuvenated me as an artistic director actually is Test to Testimony. This is not my 8th season with Jubilee Theatre, and in the 8 years that I've been here, this is the first. I was always a playwright. I've written and produced new works, throughout my 30 years. But being here at Jubilee Theatre, she's a jealous lover. And she wants all of your time, especially now that I'm the ED. I'm the managing director and the artistic director. So balancing the day-to-day business side against the artistic side is daunting. This has been the first time I had the time to sit down and write. And what I feel good about is that the show is being well received by audiences.
Yes.
And it wasn't until this Sunday while I was watching Crystal perform, and I was up in the upper room watching the show in secret, and I didn't realize how much of me is in the show. Like I know who the bastard is. I know who the child is that passed away. I know, and I know who I modeled her character around. She's a combination of both my mama and my mama. The fight that they had, the struggles that they had, because of the circumstances of life,
Right.
And we look at the father was me when we were talking about Hurricane Katrina, because I was from New Orleans.
Right.
So watching all of those things happen, and so it rejuvenated me to understand that there is a place for me to find balance in doing the business side, but also to feed the creative and artistic side. I'm currently working on a new work, Reflections, which is going to be a musical based on using music from the 60s. And I'm working on a drama as well. So the hope is, in the seasons to come, those new works will, find their way on Jubilee stage, so that we can also start. When I do these works, I'm splitting them in a way that it's also partially a property of Jubilee Theatre.
Okay.
So that if someone else takes Test to Testimony, residuals of that can come back to Jubilee Theatre. How can we help Jubilee build a second stream of revenue? So it's not just about me self-promoting myself, but it's about how do I help to build the coffers of Jubilee Theatre into the future,
Okay.
in a way that from the perspective of rights and royalties, because they are expensive, Jesus.
Yes.
You know, it makes it easier on us on the back end side.
Right.
Yep. As we get ready to transition, Miss Donna, what has working at Jubilee Theatre taught you about people and community?
I always talk about how I prayed for this job because I prayed to get back into theater. I really did. Junior year, I was like, I don't want this degree. I'm supposed to be in New York. I'm supposed to be headlining. I'm supposed to be on a stage. But what I like about working here is that now I understand the stage part, but I like the operations side of it all. But when I get to see the people on opening night, especially because I joke with the actors that I introduced myself the first rehearsal. You're not seeing me again until opening night. So, and it's the truth. It's the truth. So when I come back on opening night and I see the show, because I try to stay as blind as possible, and I get to be a part of the community of the patrons that are also watching the show for the first time, I understand, and hear me when I say this, how childlike everybody still is. Because that's what theater and art brings out, is that we're able to ignore what's going on in our lives and just watch a show. And Test of Testimony is a heavy show, yes. So it makes you go, But when I watch comedies, as going back to Sassy Mamas, or not necessarily, I don't think we call The Fall of Heaven a dramedy, but that sort of community and that sort of audience, we were all just eating it up, eating the sound, eating the music, because it was something that we
The music was amazing.
right,
was so good.
exactly. So we're still able to talk about it. I like the platform that Jubilee gives to have a community, because it's something that we really need, especially right now with everything that's going on. And I'm not talking about the current political climate. I'm just talking about personal lives. You know, like we're trying to make it. We all got struggles. But when we get to Jubilee, we could just sit back and just watch and either reflect or just enjoy and turn the reflecting off a little bit. You know what I mean? So I love talking about why theater matters in that sense. And so when going back to my point about being childlike, I want us to take a moment and think, if we had all the money in the world, we could take Jubilee to the next level. What would that look like for each of us? And we can go around the table and be childlike dreamers for a second for the theater. And I can go, and I could start, and I'm gonna do it. And I'm gonna say a theater will have
what you gonna say?
an admin office in the same building.
Amen.
So that maybe during rehearsals, I could feel a little more compelled to stay afterwards.
Yes.
Because all I have to do is just walk downstairs and be like, hey, what's happening in rehearsal today? You know what I mean?
Or walk down the hall.
Or walk down the hall to the rehearsal space and just be in the art form. Because I do feel in myself that I will eventually get back to performing. But for right now, I'm enjoying being an audience member.
Right.
You know? So I'm going to pass it. I'm going to pass the mic. I'm going to hit random. I'm going to go to Kenya.
Oh, okay.
Build your theater.
I built my theater. My dream would be an all-inclusive building that has everything that we need in the one building, and not having to, I don't go downstairs.
You don't.
Unless I have to. And that's either for something in wardrobe or nobody's answering my call. And so I have to. So I have to get up from
answer
the
the
box
phone.
office and go downstairs and say, hey, what y'all doing? Y'all in a secret meeting or something? And not including me. But yes, if everything was in one space, that is the theater space, the rehearsal space, the admin office, the box office, wardrobe department, set design stuff, all of that stuff was all in the same space, where we didn't have to travel and do so many different things to bring. And a parking lot.
You know, parking.
Come on, Lord Jesus.
Please, we need a parking lot. But Yeah, that's just my dream. I know the lobby would be difficult to decorate then, but we'll have the money.
Yeah.
We love a challenge.
Yes, we love a challenge, and I'm frugal. So, well, I'm going to pass it. I'm not going to go to my left. I'm going to go right on back on over to Kyra since we've been bouncing. The K's been bouncing off each other.
Wait,
So,
wait. Can I
Kyra,
say it's
yes.
really odd when we did the voting for our opening party? I didn't realize that y'all have the same initial for your first name and your middle name,
We
and
do,
y'all are only
yeah.
different when it gets to your last name.
We both have
KL.
L. KL.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So we
either.
can't have
So
anything
yesterday I
that
was like,
says KL.
we can't.
Can't.
No, because I was looking at the form and I was like, did I vote? I didn't, y'all. Sometimes you just, the brain, it's okay.
We do a lot.
A little dyslexia.
We do a lot.
My dream, well, pretty much what y'all have said as far as like a building of our own parking lot. I would say to employ more people, because then that entails that we have the money to employ them.
Yes.
And then also like bringing more, just even more experiences like in the lobby, having like our concessions and merch. Like having
on
merch on
display.
display. We have our little, we have shirts, people buying merch, people buying shirts, tote bags, whatever, anything Jubilee or whatever fitting to a specific show.
Right.
And then I had one more. I think it's mainly merch because I have some design ideas
Come on.
that I'm like, I would like to do, you know? So I would
So
like
we
to
need
tap
money.
in. Yeah, I would like to tap into that.
We want to expand.
So just having a bigger space where people are like just socializing even more. Also to the point where, and this, I don't know if this is a stretch, but to the point where we're open every day now, but to the point where we can be open every day.
I know what you mean.
Like have Monday nights, you know, Jubilee, they do paint and sip. Tuesdays, Jubilee, they do this, they do that. Like we have
Taco Tuesday
Yeah,
at
we have
Jubilee.
things, or we do our workshops.
Hosting workshops.
Yeah.
Improv
We have our
workshops.
improv
Yeah.
workshop. I'm signing up for this class at Jubilee Theatre.
Right.
Or where we're having the kids sign up for summer classes, do some sort of, you know, some
Summer programming
Yeah,
for
summer
them.
programming, things
Yeah.
like that. And we've done that stuff before, I believe.
That is through Jubilee,
Right.
And
But
not
not
an outside source.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is also great because either way it's exposure. But for people to say, oh, I'm going to Jubilee tonight, I'm signing up for this class, I'm signing up so I can learn how to do X, Y, Z, so I can be able to work there one day or whatever. So
Right.
just to be able to employ, I think that's a
Good one.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, last but not least.
Nala.
Okay. I would like for us to have an education wing. Maybe a big enough theater where we have like a courtyard.
Come on, courtyard for the lunchtime.
I'm really big on like I want our theater to be state of the art, all the tech stuff. Like you said, a bigger staff. I don't know. I just really want our productions to just. I want all like pyrotech stuff. I want all
Not
of it.
pyrotechnics.
I want it. I just really want to
She's
understand
shooting
about
for
art.
the
She wants
stars.
outdoor pieces.
She went way up there.
Yeah,
She said.
I really want our production, like Jubilee Theater, to know this is how this is where you go to see a production, not just a black production, but production.
A production.
And we deserve it. We can't go out in public anymore. Especially, I don't know about the three of us, but ever since we started working, aren't y'all from Jubilee? Jubilee has that reputation that deserves to be upheld. I agree.
Yes, it needs to be. Yeah, I'm ready.
We
for it.
ready. She shot way up there.
Way up there.
She
Come
went
on,
way
pyro.
up there.
I don't know about no pyro.
And
Wait a minute now.
I get it. I went up to our tech booth the other day because the lights were not bright enough. When Bowie told me from when he was up there and I was down here, oh, you just use this button and turn the lights up. I didn't see where his hand went. So I went up there and I was like, and I just kept moving buttons and I was like, oh, that didn't work. Well, what's he over here? Well, I can't see all these wires. Why is it so much stuff? So in my mind, because I like organizing things and having them, I was like, it's too much stuff up here. We just gonna be in the dark.
I quit.
Because our booth is
I'll put a tag up there for you.
Our booth has a lot of stuff up
Yeah.
there, but they work it. But if we can have one of those,
Like a box.
$20,000.
Yeah.
a
Like
good,
we can have a nice box for the.
yes, a
yeah.
good,
And it's up
nice
there.
tech
Right.
We don't see
booth
it.
that has everything spread out, and that you have the areas where you know where everything is, and I can go up there. Oh, I need the lights on. Oh, I can just go to. The lights are on. You know, yeah, but we need the money. Okay.
Help us, Jesus. So as we dream big and as we getting ready to think about closing out this particular conversation, I would love to, in the 8 years that I've been here, thank you, Lord, I've had time to really marinate on what we need as an organization, what I would love to see Jubilee Theatre acquire in the years to come. You know, currently Jubilee Theatre, we rent, and thank you, God, we have a really good rental agreement with Sundance Management. They're really good to us, and we do the best that we can at keeping the doors of the church house open. But when you're 46 years old, and Jubilee Theatre is about to be 46, you have to start thinking about longevity and security and what does it mean to be an institution. And a part of being institution is when you own. When you own, you never have to worry about nobody raising your rent, nobody knocking on the door saying we want our property back, or when something breaks, you can fix it yourself because you don't have to go through the extra steps to get nothing done. Currently, there are 3 buildings I have gone to visit and look at and dream real big on. In an ideal world, Jubilee Theatre I want to position Jubilee Theatre to be the cultural hub, the cultural mecca of Fort Worth. That it is the central location for every walk of life to come to. Regardless of what's on stage is a story that is universal for us all to sit and love and laugh and enjoy. This would be a multi-tiered building that the first with a 250-seat proscenium theater, with also a secondary 150 to 175 seat flexible black box theater, education wing plus parking. I want to see us get to a place where Jubilee Theatre, we currently don't have an endowment. The Jubilee Theatre within the next 5 years acquires a $1 million endowment that under supports the overall dream and vision of the organization. And honestly, for those of you out there, listening to this conversation, right now I am the only full-time employee of Jubilee Theatre. These ladies, they come real close to full-time, but they're not full-time. And sometimes I got to send them home because they be trying to give me more than I can do right now. But I want to get to a position. Side out of you. And I love the fact I feel like for the first time in years that Jubilee Theatre that I've been here, that Jubilee Theatre has a fully active and fully invested team that wants to see nothing but greatness for the organization. And I'm so grateful for that. I want to get to a place where, as an organization, I can move everybody to full-time. And from full-time to full-time with benefits. And that's going to take a little minute. But what is so doable with any and every donation that is given to Jubilee Theatre, you bring us just one step closer to being able to achieve that dream. A dream where Jubilee Theatre is an institution, a dream where we can afford not just the staff that is here, but the support staff that is necessary. Yes, we have a marketing team of 1.
Amen.
Okay.
Can I tell y'all, my first meeting with the coach that I'm trying to work with, she asked me, so how many are below you? And I just had to look at her. Because she thought when I said a staff of 5, that there was 5 under me. I'm like, no, there's 5 total. She's like, oh. Wow. I'm like,
Yeah, it's just,
we on a daily basis do the same thing that a theater of 25 to 30 people do, and it's just 5 of us. You know, marketing needs a social media manager. You need a print media manager. You need a team. You know, operations, you need a team. Someone, we're working on an audit right now, having a team member that's a part of that process. I'm
clerk.
a clerk, somebody who's watching the finances and stuff. You know, we need additional box office support,
need
more people in the
some more
box office to, answer phone calls, somebody who does group sales. Somebody who's on the phone and they're building relationships with groups so that when a show drops, they go, hey, Miss King, I got a group of 20 coming, and handing over that point of sale to you. Having an additional artistic team. I feels blessed. To have an associate producer. What does it look like if I have a stage manager that's on staff? What does it look like that if they have a TD on staff?
Or a runner.
Or a runner. So many of the technical things that happen on this stage happen because we roll our sleeves up, and sometimes we build the set ourselves. Sometimes we paint it ourselves. Thank God for Texas Wesleyan and Jenny James.
We
love you, Jenny James, because this set got put up by Texas Wesleyan and Jenny James, and where it should have been a budget of $2,000, it came in at a budget of less than $400. And a lot of that is is being smart with the dollar.
Right.
And being respectful to what we have and recycling things. But my dream is to help us to be able to do that. And how do we do that? We do that with the support of all of you out there listening to this conversation and knowing that it's because of every dollar that you bring to the table, that you introduce Jubilee Theatre to, that we're able to do it. Why? Because theater isn't just entertainment. It is community. It is entertainment. It is edutainment. It is bringing us together for a communal conversation. And it helps us to put them damn phones down. Okay? Come on.
You gotta
Put
put
the
that
phones
phone
down and just relate
Gotta
and
put
be on
that
a
phone
human
down.
level.
It's the only medium other than cinema that forces the people to put their
phones away.
Come on.
concert folks still they allow
You watching the
they
concert
go
like this.
Like this.
You can watch through
But
some
they
of them.
literally said you cannot record. You cannot record in a theater. So it's really the room where it happens.
The room where it happens. And with your dollars, you make it possible for this to continue to be the room where it happens. And most importantly, even if you aren't able to give at this time, always think about or consider getting a Flex Pass or buying a ticket. And if this is your first time at Jubilee Theatre, bring a friend. And if it's not your first time, bring someone with you that hasn't been to Jubilee Theatre in a long time, or they've never been to Jubilee Theatre. And as always, guess what? When you do, give Miss Kenya a call at where, Miss Kenya?
817-338-4411. Again, that is 817-338-4411. Tuesday through Friday, 12 to 5.
So remember, get it. So remember, beautiful people, as we do our call to action, if this conversation has moved you and you have the capacity, because we know that the world is kind of dark right now, the world is kind of tight on the wallet. You got to choose between gas and eggs. But if you have the means today, or if you have the means next year or down the line, please always consider supporting Jubilee Theatre or your local nonprofit that speaks to your personal ethos and your beliefs. And remember, as always, let's see if we all gonna do this together. We're gonna do it all together. And remember, as always, beautiful people,
We are
Jubilee Theatre.
Jesus. We did that.